I always believed in honesty. For me, it wasn't just a word from a moral codex. It was the foundation upon which I had built my life, the guiding principle in business, friendship, and marriage. I thought Mia and Alex shared this belief. But that evening, when I saw my wife Mia and my best friend Alex in our bed, something inside me cracked. It wasn't a loud, dramatic rupture, but a quiet, devastating crunch at the very core of my existence. There were no screams, no rage that I thought I ought to be feeling. Only a cold, thick, impenetrable silence that filled every pore of my body, displacing all other emotions. I turned around with the fragility of a sleepwalker and left the room, closing the door behind me with an incredible, sinister precision. They never even knew I was there, never felt my presence looming over their sin like a grim prophet. I knew that screaming was the revenge of the weak. It's a momentary, emotional outburst that leaves nothing but a sense of emptiness and shame. I, however, wanted them to feel the true void, the same one that had begun to grow inside me. Cold, rational, and infinite. The first step was the hardest, to pretend to be blind, to become that naive, trusting Jake they thought they knew once again. I played the role of the loving, devoted husband so convincingly, with such sincerity in my eyes and warmth in my voice, that they first thought they had imagined the previous night, and then, as time went on, simply decided they were infinitely lucky. But it was I who was playing with them, like an experienced puppeteer holding the strings. Observing from the sidelines, I clearly saw their weaknesses, and the chief among them was greed, evident in their every word, every glance, every timid dream of a life they, in their opinion, deserved more. So, I gifted Mia her dream, an incredibly profitable designer boutique. For it, I didn't just find a location. I created an entire legend, a detailed business plan with inflated numbers, reviews from satisfied clients, even a fictitious investor. She, blindly believing in her luck and my infallibility, with a sparkle in her eyes, invested all our joint savings into it, and then, under my gentle, skillful pressure, easily agreed to take out a loan using our apartment as collateral, seeing it only as a bold step towards independence. Simultaneously, I offered Alex, my best friend with whom I had shared my childhood and youth, to become a partner in a business of elite lakeside cottages, describing incredible prospects and quick profits. He, blindly trusting me, pledged everything he had, his car, his apartment, took out loans so as not to lose his golden chance. They threw themselves into my trap with greed, laughing in their private conversations about how Jake suspects nothing, how he was honest to a fault. And I listened to their conversations through a tiny voice recorder hidden behind the nightstand in the bedroom, and every word they said, every scornful laugh, was another nail in the coffin of our former friendship, love, and shared memories. The day X arrived. I announced the bankruptcy of both ventures. Alex found out that his money had gone nowhere, spent on non-existent projects, fictitious services, and kickbacks to unknown officials. They screamed at each other in the living room, blaming one another, their secret alliance shattering completely under the pressure of external circumstances. And then suddenly, they turned to me, seeking solace and support from the one person they thought was still honest and steadfast, who, they assumed, was now suffering alongside them. It was then that I stopped playing. The mask fell away, revealing the cold steel of my true nature. I said quietly, but with absolute clarity, looking them straight in the eyes. I knew, from the first day, and I was waiting for your own greed to destroy you. I merely gave you the opportunity and the direction. Their faces in the moment they understood the full depth and duration of my game were priceless. It was a mixture of absolute horror, profound confusion, and the complete collapse of that fabricated world they had been living in for the past months. A world where they were the clever accomplices, and I was just the useful fool. They, of course, called the police, but all the financial documents, contracts, and obligations were in their names. My signature was either absent or present only where I was listed as the aggrieved party. I was merely the victimized husband, dragged into shady schemes by his wife and friend that ended in collapse. The court, after reviewing all the evidence, left the apartment to me, recognizing me as a victim of their lust for profit. They were left with nothing, with immense debts, ruined reputations, and the betrayal they themselves had committed, which had now turned against them, like a poisoned blade. I got my revenge, perfect and cold, precise as clockwork.